My name's Tom Newby and I'm an engineer with BuroHappold, and I'm also a trustee of the Happold Foundation, which is their charitable arm. So we support Engineers Without Borders amongst other things. When I was quite small, I was very interested in being able to do something, make things, deliver things. When I was in my final year at school, I realised if I was an engineer, I could really do stuff that was definitely tangible and actually made a real difference to people's lives. And that was really what led me to engineering. I learned about international development and what's good and what's bad. I learned about the international aid system and what's good and what's bad. I learned about engineering's role in that, and what you can do and what you can't do. And as a result of that, I ended up being able to have this fantastic 6 years working for an international charity and doing projects such as building 16,000 houses in the Philippines after a big typhoon in the Philippines, or supporting refugees from Syria who've fled into neighbouring countries, or supporting people in Yemen who have been bombed and have nowhere to live. So, and that is entirely down to the learning and experience I got from EWB UK. Now that we are looking at a potential runaway climate crisis, it requires enormous and immediate action. We have rampantly, as humans, built things, used and consumed the environment we live in. If we're going to have any chance of continuing an acceptable standard of living for everyone, and not just for people in the West, but for the people in other countries who have not contributed to the climate crisis, but are suffering most from it, then responsible global engineering has got to be a core part of that. And that's got to be both the technological and technical solutions, but also understanding how engineering fits in the social context and the economic context of the world and the different places we're living in. It's no longer acceptable to sit at your desk and do your engineering and not think about what the consequences of that are and think, oh, well, I'm doing this for a client, it's their problem. Globally responsible engineers need to have an ethical stance on how they're working, and need to take responsibility. And the organisations they're working for need to take that same responsibility. It's not acceptable to disassociate the engineering from the impact. And that means you have to understand the technical things that engineers are traditionally very good at, but you also have to understand the social context in which you're working, and whether the engineering you're doing is benefiting the few or the many, or whether you are excluding the marginalised. And you have to consider the economics as well, and the politics, and all the complexity, the wonderful complexity that goes around what we do. You can't simplify it down to some maths. Engineering can't be a one-size-fits-all solution. We have to understand that there are people with different identities and different realities and different backgrounds who will use and experience and need different things from the engineering that we do. And it's no longer acceptable for engineering to be all white men who are, and I say this as a white man, I'm very aware of that, but who are delivering projects that are designed for other white men. We have to start thinking about different people. We have to start thinking about women. We have to start thinking about marginalised communities. We have to start thinking about different cultures and actually making engineering work for those different lifestyles and different people.